This afternoon in the marketplace, industry watchers wonder if Ghana's deregulation policy has outlived its relevance as government directs leading oil marketing company, GOIL, to reduce a litre of petrol by 15 pesos. We'll hear from an expert on this developing story. Also in the bulletin, Ghana Enterprise Agency begins disbursement of over 8 million cedis grant for SMEs. We'll hear from the Chief Executive of the Ghana Enterprise Agency.
Today we stand here, we have over 100 beneficiaries who are present, and over 8 million Ghana cedis is being invested in their businesses to support them grow. The focus of the investments that are being made in their business is for them to buy. Some are buying equipment to build their business.
Also, the EU renews commitments to supporting environmentally sustainable businesses in Ghana.
This is not about EU spending money. This is EU partnering with countries like Ghana to address climate change. And third, we have together set of rules to limit climate change.
We have all these stories coming up shortly. To stay with us. You're welcome. I'm Charles Aite. To our first story, Ghana's deregulation policy on the pricing of petroleum products seems to be on the balance. At least this is the argument by some experts who make the case that the current directive by government to the country's leading oil marketing company, GOIL, to reduce fuel prices by 15 pesos per litre to meet demands by commercial drivers who embarked on a sit-down strike recently raises questions about whether or not the deregulation policy has outlived its relevance. Well, Dr. YUSSIF SULEMANA is a petroleum expert and he joins us via Zoom. We're grateful, Dr. you could join us. First of all, does this directive actually question the efficacy of the deregulation policy?
Yeah, thank you very much, Charles, and good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your cherished viewers in Ghana and across the globe. I hope you can hear me clear, Charles.
You're loud and clear.
Make sure that okay, thank you. Yeah, so yes, it does. It does call, to the fact that, deregulation is on a shaky ground, and it's on a shaky ground because, it's almost the fact that we are seeing that, the policy is not able to stamp its authority when the market needs it most. And this is the time that we thought, deregulation should be able to work in both directions, that one price are going up and one price are coming down. Now, why are we here, Charles? We need to know why, we are struggling the way we are struggling at this moment. After the implementation of deregulation in 2015, it actually chalked a lot of successes. 3 players are involved in deregulation, and they benefited a lot. We have the consumer, the PSP, that is Petroleum Service Provider, and then the government of Ghana. These key 3 players all benefited. How did the consumer benefit? Consumer benefited in the sense that there was a lot of competition and actual prices came down. If you look at from 2015, 12 months down the line, actual prices came down. PSPs were also allowed to do full cost recovery, and then the government of Ghana didn't put in any subsidies. So looking at deregulation as a whole, as a policy and its intended purposes, I think it was achieved well. But what happened just after this windfall, especially after 2014, 15, and 2016? Actually, the world price actually collapsed. Collapsed. And so what we're expecting is that there would have been some cascading impact at the pumps, but that never happened. After the benefits that the consumer benefited within those periods, taxes quickly came to play. The government of Ghana actually came out with so many taxes at that time. And one of the lead taxes that you can remember then was special petroleum tax.
Exactly.
That's SPT. This was supposed to actually be temporary, just to cool down the market because the downstream side were being impacted. So the expectation was that they wanted to use the downstream to support the upstream, and so that the upstream side were being impacted because of low oil prices. And so, but that has come to stay. So, Charles, we are struggling because deregulation is paralyzed. And it is paralyzed because of taxes. So until we review the tax regime, all right, we are not going to be able to see the impact or the benefits of deregulation. But the policy as itself and its intended purpose, I think it's well intended and it is good. And I think it's high time. I mean, the good thing is that I'm told MPA set up a committee, to sit on this particular policy and review it. And I think that is an excellent way to go, and I commend them for that. We need to do that. And whatever findings are, we need to look at these loopholes and we will to plug them.
Great.
Other than that,
I'm quite curious to find out, Dr. SULEMANA. Others might ask that if government could have given this directive, why not in instances when fuel prices were reduced on the global market?
Yes, so that's the the question that most pundits will ask, and that's actually the major problem, because the assumption is that deregulation works in one direction, Charles. That's the assumption, though it's not supposed to be so. And why I was saying that, if you look back, the last market collapse that we have in the world market, somewhere in March 2020, actual crude oil prices in the global market actually crashed to, with Brent was at, let's say, a little bit below 20. That is where our pumps are benchmarked. And even WTI went to negative 37 as at that time. That was phenomenal and that was monumental. But I think we didn't see that kind of cascading impact at the pumps. If you remember that time, we never saw pump prices dropping below 4 cedis per liter.
Exactly.
That is so for you. So that is what is supposed to be done. The reason why pundits are calling or are saying that, government has to take interest in both directions. When the oil prices are going up, government has to take interest. And when oil prices are also coming down, government has to take key interest in that. Other than that, consumer will never benefit in the deregulation policy.
Well,
because if the government can take interest in when oil prices are going up at this moment, pundits will ask that why shouldn't government take interest when oil prices are also coming down? And I said that's a legitimate question to ask.
Great, indeed.
That is very legitimate.
Indeed,
to
but
ask,
let's contextualize this discussion, because we know that this is playing out in the wake of petrol experts concerned about the 2022 budget being less expressive on the petroleum sector. What did the government miss exactly in the budget regarding the upstream and downstream industry?
Yeah, so Charles, I think this is a very good one. If you look at the budget with respect to the energy sector, with respect to the petroleum sector, I think a lot was said about the upstream, which was phenomenal and commendable. They were told about how GMPC is going to be resourced to become a standalone operator. Commendable. I always call that the petroleum sector is not only about upstream, it is about upstream and downstream. And if you leave one sector unattended, it's going to drill the other sector. And that's what is happening. The upstream is drilling the downstream sector at this moment. All right? Upstream is becoming robust. Oil prices are going high. We can benefit that side. But the downstream is struggling. Okay. So what I saw that was very unfortunate, I don't know whether it was an omission. As much as so much was said about the upstream, which I said it was commendable, the budget was almost mute about the downstream. And that was very unfortunate. Especially the budget was read at a time when the downstream needed some kind of reassurances, where the government need to show the lead way. The government need to give the consumer or stakeholders within the sector, within the downstream sector, that these are the cogent measures that I want to put in place to cool down the market. Because the budget was read at a time when the market was very hot, all right? When oil prices were very high, and then the pump price were actually very high. So my expectation was that, my candid expectation was that I thought something would have, I thought something was going to be set up about the downstream. That was very crucial. So the least thing should have been that, the government should have put out some kind of cogent measures and some reassurances that this is what I'm going to do to cool down the pumps, because the pumps were simply, too hot for consumers to pay. But that was not seen. And I believe, and I think and believe strongly that if that wasn't missed, some of this agitation that we are seeing now, we wouldn't see that, because this agitation is triumph under the atmosphere of, lack of information, or lack of assurances. Because if at the end of the day, the budget did not cater for how this market is going to be cooled, and we leave it to the international market to determine or to dictate the pace, I think that was quite unfortunate. And indeed, I think it was an omission. So my expectation is that government should take it seriously and take up that seriously. And maybe within the mid-year budget, they have to do something. Or even before that, they have to do something. If it's about the taxes, yes, they have to let consumers know or stakeholders know what cogent measures are put in place to cool down the market. Otherwise, these agitations will continue.
And of course, we do know that the finance minister yesterday, addressed the media regarding some, exceptions of tax review in the 2022 budget. We shall be following up on this, especially when Parliament has resumed sitting. And of course, discussions of this nature would suffice. But we're grateful that you could join us with your submission, Dr. YUSSIF SULEMANA, petroleum expert on the deregulation policy, where it stands, especially when government has directed GOIOP, Ghana's leading oil marketing company, to slash its petrol prices by 15 pesos. But away from that, the Ghana Enterprise Agency has signed an agreement to begin the disbursement of over 8 million cedis grants to beneficiary micro and small businesses in the country. Now, the fund supported by the World Bank is to help stimulate growth post-COVID-19 and impact on the economy as well. The chief executive of the agency, Koshiyanke Aye, explains that more incentives are on the way for small businesses. We have more in this report.
The second grant to support micro, small and medium enterprises is part of measures by the Ghana Enterprises Agency together with development partners to revive operations of businesses affected by COVID-19. The over 8 million cedis facility is expected to benefit more than 100 businesses in the country. Here is Chief Executive of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Koshiyanke Aye.
So today we stand here, we have over 100 beneficiaries who are present, and over 8 million Ghana cedis is being invested in their businesses to support them grow. The focus of the investments that are being made in their business is for them to buy. Some are buying equipment to build their business. Some are also buying raw materials that would facilitate the growth of their businesses. Some are going to use it for various operational costs, excluding salaries, to build their businesses to the next level.
Mrs. Yankee Aye has therefore advised beneficiaries to use the funds for their intended purpose in order to support the growth of the economy.
Our message to them is that they should utilize the funds for what is needed. Many times there are some private sector beneficiaries who don't use the funds for what it is because of lack of discipline. But as much as possible, we'll say to them, be very disciplined. Use the funds for what it is you're supposed to be used for, and use it to grow and build your business, because there's more where it came from. So what we'll do is that we'll do an assessment, and those who have done well, that we see have been able to move their businesses to the next level that can accelerate, we'll continue to provide support to them to help them build up so they can grow and become national giants.
All who signed the agreement will receive their funds after submitting their documents.
Now, more than 6,000 entrepreneurs living in mining areas in Burkina Faso, Ghana, as well as Guinea have received training under the West Africa Governance and Economic Sustainability in Extractive Areas. Now, the 6-year project organized by the World University Service of Canada, that's a Canadian non-governmental organization, focuses on economic empowerment of youth and women. And of course, it was climaxed with a regional forum in Accra.
The 6-year wages project, in partnership with the Ghana Enterprise Agency in the country, trained entrepreneurs, especially women and youth, on how to start, manage and grow their businesses. The forum was under the theme, Maximizing Socioeconomic Benefits from Extractive Areas for Women and Youth Entrepreneurs, Connect, Collaborate and Scale Up. Speaking at the forum, Canadian Ambassador to Ghana, Kati Saba, said the project was to integrate women and the youth to participate in local governance and sustainable development in the extractive sector.
We know that, of course, the extractive sector has the potential to deliver great economic wealth to communities. But often what we find are that women and youth who depend often on natural resources for their subsistence can be, in fact, negatively impacted by the activities of the extractive sector. So the idea behind this project was really to find ways to ensure that they have a voice, that they are able to participate in the inclusive development of their communities, so that their priorities are also being heard and that their livelihoods and their subsistence is being improved along.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Enterprise Agency, Koshiyanke Aye, said the partnership with the World University Service of Canada has drawn her outfit's attention to the extractive sector.
It's also been able to allow us to focus in an area and with a sector that we had never paid close attention to. So the focus is on women and youth within the extractive communities. And most often, these stakeholders are not a part of the extractive sector because it's a very male-dominated sector. And so the partnership has allowed us to see other stakeholders, identify them, see what help we can give them, how best we can support them through various interventions, be it business development support, entrepreneurship support, access to finance support, and build their capacity for.
This event is an annual flagship one, co-hosted by the World University Service of Canada and the Center for International Studies, and cooperation with funding from Global Affairs Canada.
Now, the European Union believes supporting green businesses that address environmental challenges and promote the implementation of ambitious environmental projects will boost economies, including Ghana. At the SNV Ghana's 2021 Green Innovation Challenge Awards ceremony, the head of the European Union delegation to Ghana said a collaboration between the European Union and Ghana will help assess the impact of global challenges on the country's economy and strengthen it. We have more in this report.
Boosting green employment and enterprise opportunities in Ghana Green Project is a 4-year action from the European Union, the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Ghana, SNV Netherlands Development Organization, and the United Nations Capital Development Fund. The project is intended to create greater economic and employment opportunities for the youth, women, and returning migrants by promoting and supporting sustainable green businesses in the Western and Ashanti regions of Ghana. 12 green businesses and entrepreneurs from the Ashanti and Western regions received a combined matching grant of 1,170,000 Ghana cedis under the 2021 Green Innovation Challenge. Here is head of the European Union delegation to Ghana, Erchad Romania Drazwa Razali.
This is not about EU spending money. This is EU partnering with countries like Ghana to address climate change. And third, we have together set of rules to limit climate change. This is one of the global shared challenge between Europe and Africa, and as a global leader, the EU will continue the lead to international efforts, and in conjunction with our partners' efforts, with the Africa Union efforts with Ghana to address environmental and to promote the implementation of ambitious climate energy policies across the world. I would like to focus now on the project, the boosting green employment and enterprise opportunities in Ghana, as we know, under the name of Green Project, which is about this partnership between EU and Ghana to limit the effect of climate change, to limit the destruction of the environment.
Also, the interim project manager for SNV Green Project, Sarah Agbe, explained the criteria behind selecting these SMEs onto the program.
Yeah, there's a criteria, there's a whole process. The process is actually, we normally build on what government is doing. So normally when we go to the district, we work with the Ghana Enterprise Agency. And the Ghana Enterprise Agency has a criteria for identify some of these SMEs. Like I said, the monitoring, these are being, like the people who received the funds today were trained, they had trainers. So the trainers are with them in the district assembly. The various organizations that train them are also with them in the regions, so they will be tracking them. SNV will also be tracking them.
The Green Innovation Challenge, which is a yearly competition by SNV Ghana, is an initiative that provides financial support to green businesses and startups that need to survive and thrive. James Ishan's report for Joy Business.
And you're still watching The Marketplace. We're taking a short break. We're right back. To stay with us. And welcome back. Now, Signum Development, a real estate company, is giving discounts on properties for Christmas as part of its corporate social responsibility. Speaking to Joy Business, Digital Marketing Manager of Signum Development, Comfort Owusu, explains that their flexible payment plans and clients are at liberty to suggest new payment plans they are comfortable with.
Signum Development is a consortium of technical professionals specializing in innovative and practical solutions for projects in the built environment, mining and construction industry. It has a record of delivering a number of high-profile projects like refurbishment of Barclays Bank Ghana head office. Here's Digital Marketing Manager of Signum Development, Comfort Owusu.
We have properties for townhouses that start from $77,000. We're running a few Christmas promotions right now, so we can get a discount and you can prices start around $74,000. So then we also have apartments that I mentioned that are coming up in Chado. And those ones, the Christmas promotion price is starting at $84,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. So we have those in Chado. Then outside of Chado, the $74,000 I mentioned is going to be the Oyarifa property. In Hacho and Adenta, we've got them at $77,500. And so there's a variety. In Chado, the townhouses can start at $132,000 and they go all the way up to $250,000. But we're working on some promotion prices for that as well.
Comfort also explains the payment plan.
So we have a standard payment plan of 3 installments of 30% and the final 10%. So 30% when you sign the contract, and then another 30% 6 months later, and another 30% 6 months later, and the final 10% is when we hand over the unit to you. However, we are also pretty flexible with the payment plan. So if you have something that works better for you, you can propose it, and then if it works for the business and both parties can work with that, then we use that.
The digital marketing manager of Signum Development also took Joy Business on a tour of a 3-bedroom house converted to 2-bedroom, which costs $170,000.
For our properties in Chado, this one, for example, is a converted 2-bedroom. So the original is supposed to be a 3-bedroom, which sells for $170,000, but this has been changed to a 2-bedroom. So the 2-bedroom actually sells for $134,200. So if you decide that you want a bit more space and something like this works for you, then you're looking at $170,000. However, if you are fine with the original 2-bedroom, then that is also $134,000. So the floor areas are good. The 2-bedroom is now 88 square meters, which I think is good for Chado especially. And the 3-bedroom is 127 square meters. So we have promotion prices on both of those right now. The 2-bedroom is going for $123,000 and the 3-bedroom is going for about $150,000.
Indigenous firm QuickAngels Investment has reiterated its continued support for local businesses in the country. According to the chairman of the locally based investment firm, Richard Niamakwe, its aim is to help local businesses flourish and expand. He made these assertions when his outfit simultaneously opened 4 branches of Pizzamon, Chicken Man in various parts of Accra. We have more in this report.
This brings to a total of 10 branches since its inception in 2019. A partnership between QuickAngels Investor Company and Pizzamon Chicken Man birthed 4 new branches in Accra, which is ready to compete on the market. Pizzamon Chicken Man now has branches in Dansuman Exhibition Roundtable, East Legon, Awushi and Spintex, all in Accra. This is in addition to its already existing branches in Ahonjo, Sofo Line, Swami Magazine, among others in Kumasi. Here is the Chief Executive Officer for Pizzamon Chicken Man, Christian Boachi Wiadom.
We presented our idea, and then they saw the prospect, and then they decided to partner with us for us to get into business. Before Pizzamon came in, we had other pizzerias who were already working, but then it's not about the current market. You just have to believe in what you are doing and then believe that what you are going to present to the market will be acceptable by the people. And then you look around what others are not doing, and then you add to yours, and then you present something better. So next year, we are looking forward to go to other regions apart from Ashanti and Greater Accra. So Central region, Western region, Eastern, even Northern region, and Brunga Hafo. And we are also going to do more in Accra as well. They should expect the best. In fact, those in Kumasi will attest to the fact that Pizzamon Chicken Man is one of the best restaurants that they can really trust in terms of tasty and affordable meals. So the people of Accra should also expect something better, and Ghana should expect something. In fact, we are going to give the best. We want to redefine how food is being presented to Ghanaians, because it seems that almost all the fast food industries we have are not owned by Ghanaians, and I believe that we Ghanaians can also do better. Oh yes, we are going to run promos from next Monday till the end of December. We are going to make sure that each and everyone who couldn't buy pizza from January to November can get something from us in December.
Speaking at the event was the chairman for QuickAngels Investor Company, Richard Niamakwe, who explained the need to partner with startups to get their businesses running.
In Africa, what motivated QuickAngels to get into this space is that we realized that entrepreneurs in our part of the world find it difficult getting revenue. Okay, so QuickAngels is a Ghanaian angel investing company. We pride ourselves to say that we are the first formal angel investor company in Africa. I mean, in Ghana so far, we have not seen the likes of an investor that currently has over 21 portfolio and still counting. We invest in startup companies and also existing companies. We don't just invest capital, we leverage on our expertise to ensure that we grow up these startup companies and also the existing companies. It is only at that point that as angel investors, we also gain the benefit that is required.
And that'll be all for the bulletin. I'm Charles Aite. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.